Hello, welcome to 5x5. This is going to be my third or fourth attempt, I think, to record this. I keep running out of time because I only give myself these 5 minutes. So let's get on with it. We've been to register the baby today. The baby is today 9 days old, my son, and we've been to register him. So we've been to the register office to get a birth certificate. So I thought I would share with you a little bit of a story of what happened the last time I went to register a baby. So when we registered our baby girl in 2016, she was born at the end of September, so we're now in October 2016, and we went to register her. Excuse me, sorry. And I don't know, I'm sure most of you remember 2016 probably as being one of the weirdest years you've ever seen. Certainly, I think probably the weirdest year I've ever seen. You know, I think about as many celebrities died in that year as died in the previous 10. Before that, you know, we had the EU referendum, which is now called Brexit. Donald Trump was elected in November of 2016, so we had a newborn baby. My wife suffered a postpartum psychosis, which we'll talk about at a later time, because I really want to get the knowledge about postpartum psychosis out there. I want to spread awareness about it, because it is not the same thing as postpartum depression. It's a completely different thing. It's a lot more rare, thankfully, but it's a lot more scary. So yeah, it's a terrifying thing, and we really want to help sort of spread awareness about it a little bit, but that's a different video. So postpartum psychosis, newborn baby, 2016 is a weird year anyway, and just within a couple of weeks of the little one being born, my wife's grandfather died. The one of her grandparents she was closest to passed away. And for a couple of months I'd had like a persistent dry cough. So I'd gone to get an x-ray. And, you know, I've had lots of x-rays for lots of reasons and things like that. So, you know, I suffer with psoriasis and psoriatic arthritis as a result. And, you know, these are immune disorders. I've had sleep problems since I was born. So, you know, I've been for tests and x-rays. I didn't really think much of it. So anyway, all this craziness was going on, stress like you wouldn't believe. And we came out of the register office and I got a call from my doctor who says, I've got the results of your x-rays back, and I've spoken to the radiographer, and I've spoken to other doctors. I've consulted with a few people, and basically, I'm not going to use the terminology because I don't use it. I'll use it incorrectly, and, you know, I'll just make things a million times worse. Me, that is, not the doctor. But basically what he'd said is what we can see on your lungs indicates that you have one of two disorders. There are only two things that cause this. One is sarcoidosis. The other is lymphoma. Now, I didn't know what sarcoidosis was at the time, but I knew what lymphoma was, and in our house, that is a very scary word. I mean, cancer is a scary word in any household, but lymphoma in our family is quite scary. I don't actually think it is one of the ones that's hereditary, that cancer that runs in the family. I don't think. I could be wrong about that, but I don't think it is. But in any way, it's a scary term in our family. So, of course, that's where my brain went. And this doctor has apologised to me many times since then for scaring me like that, right? And I've said, no need to apologise. I would much rather that you were overly cautious than not. Don't worry about it at all. But, so I wasn't worried about that. But I realised after the fact that what he should have done, though, is to explain to me, perhaps I didn't give him the chance, it was a scary phone call to get, but what he should have done is to explain to me what sarcoidosis was. Because had he done that, because I then went through 2 months of tests, you know, I had a bronchoscopy where they put the pipe down my throat and they took a biopsy, and, you know, I had to wait for the results of that. So it took a couple of months to get the results, scary months, before I finally sat in front of a consultant who said, it's not lymphoma, it is classic sarcoidosis. Let me explain to you what sarcoidosis is. And he explained to me, and he said it has these symptoms. He said, first of all, you hit the jackpot there because it's much more common in women and it's much more common in black people than in white people. It's not all that common in white males, basically. But it is an immune disorder. And I already have a couple of immune disorders that cause similar symptoms and are very often linked with sarcoidosis. And the list of symptoms, I mean, the number of symptoms I had on there, I don't advocate people going up and looking at a list of symptoms. That's the way to sort of worry yourself into an early grave. But had he just said and explained what sarcoidosis was, instantaneously I would have gone, oh, it's got to be that. I mean, that's the most obvious answer. So, I don't know, we're out of time. But if you ever get a scary diagnosis like that, look stuff up just a little.